Hey guys, this is CG Stuff. I'm going to do a small brief introduction on CGpainter. This is an application that I've been developing, and my inspirations for developing this application are Substance Painter and 3D Code. First, we're going to download this and I'm going to open it. Alright, so here we are in this application. You can clearly see that if you have been using Substance Painter, you can see that we have the layers panel, texture sets, properties, shelf, and texture set settings. Let me just load up an FBX to show you what I mean. We go to new projects. We're gonna select a mesh. All right, so we have this mesh loaded in. Everything is kind of like Substance Painter with the layers, with the texture sets, and with the properties. So what's so different than Substance Painter and 3D Code? Well, not a lot, except, I'll explain in a bit. So first of all, we have, painting. All right, we can paint on my mesh. All right, we can change the resolution. All right, go to 4K. I do not advise going to 4K, but up to you. Like Painter, you can change the side of the brush, like Control and drag, and you can change the hardness. Now, the thing that does not exist in Substance Painter, and I'm gonna keep making that reference because clearly you can see that I drew a lot of inspiration from it, is that if you hold Shift and press scroll up, you can go into smoothing. Basically, this is from 3D Code, all right? And then you can basically smooth your paint layer, all right? This only exists on paint layers. What do I mean? It means that if I delete this paint layer and add another paint layer, I can let's say paint, all right? I can change my color, I can paint again, and then I can smooth between these layers basically. This is only a 3D Code feature and I liked it so much, so I'm like, okay, you know what, let me just add something like that. So if I add another paint layer, like let's say do blue, like blend, paint here, blend. Something you can do in Substance is that you cannot merge layers down. And 3D Code, you can treat them like Photoshop layers and merge them down in case you don't want all that, all these. So you can just keep merging down and then you have only one paint layer, which is cool. Nice. So I'm just gonna remove this for a bit and I'm gonna give this, let's say, a red, the regular stuff that you see in, let's say, Substance. Let me just turn with Shift right click, you can just turn the lights. You have to bake the mesh maps. Let me just go to the baker. The baker is very similar to Substance. If you're familiar with Substance, you can just change the cage settings here. You go to normals, ambient occlusion, curvature, everything is there. It's very familiar. I'm just gonna get my high poly. Right, so when we have my high poly loaded in, you can see something changed. It means that your high poly has been loaded in. I'm just gonna change the cage settings. And when I press bake, it feels instant, not because it's instant, it's just because it's a GPU baker. So there you go. And here you can see that my high poly is correctly baked in. You can see the details on it. All right, and then here is the debug view for each map. So if I go here, I can see flat color, the mask. We have no mask, but the position normal, the world normal, the curvature, ambient occlusion, thickness, the tangent normal, ID. Well, this is just some default ID I was testing, but everything is there, and you can go back to shaded mode. So here, if I let's say add something, start coloring, you can see this is just flat color. The difference between this and this is just gamma. I'm working on that. Don't worry about that. But the idea is there. Cool. So since now we have masks, you can see them here. You can also see them here. All right. You can start working with generators. So what do I mean? Let me just put this to red, for example. And since this is a fill layer, I can adjust its roughness, its metallic value, right? And its channels. In case I want to add, let's say, emissive, I go here to the texture set settings. I'm going to add another channel. I'm going to add emissive, and now you can see it updated here. I'm going to put it, let's say, to green. I'm going to put this to white, right? Green emissive, and like Substance, you can see it updated. But in this case, I don't want emissive, so I'm just going to keep it to nothing. So for this example, I'm just going to put, let's say, red. I'm going to add another fill layer. Obviously, since it's the top fill layer, it's going to overwrite. So what we're gonna do is gonna put this to blue or something, and then we're gonna add a mask. So when you click on this, or you can right click, add black mask, right? We're gonna add a black mask, and this is not very interesting because we can either paint with the mask, which is cool, but we can also right click, add generator. Let's say we want slope. So now we have a slope mask, right? So I'm gonna just add full roughness for now, no metallic. And then when we click here, we can see we have a substack. All right, so we can just like apply the settings of the slope mask. We can also add another substack, which is, let's say I want a curvature ware, which is going to sample the curvature channel, sorry. And we have set some settings for the curvature channel. So I'm gonna like concave, convex. You can also play around with it. You know, same stuff that we would see in Substance Painter. Of course, since it's a generator, it's going to override the other one. So we can like, you know, change their position, or you can just like change its multiply, its blending mode. So I'm gonna put it to, let's say, go to color dodge, or let's say multiply. There you go. Let's say screen. Oh, sorry. This is the blending mode of the entire thing. My bad. So in order to change the blending mode of the mask, you go here and you go to, there you go. You go to multiply and you're basically like blending them together. That's how it works. So I'm going to remove this for a second. We have a slope, and in order to, let's say, paint with the mask, we on top of the generator, I mean, you can right click, you add the paint, and then now you're emulating as if you're painting on this. So you're just like now painting extra, you know, like you can like smooth, etc. You know what I mean? Cool. So what else we can do? We can like click on here. We can duplicate this entire thing. All right, we have a duplicate copy of this, and then we can like maybe make this to green. I can go on the mask, change the values, you know, change the thing. Maybe, you know what, I don't want this. I want a completely different mask. I want, let's say, a generator. I want a light generator, and I'm going to change its values with the rotation. Okay, next, let's look at a few tools really quick. We have the brush tool, which, you know, the name implies is just, you know, the brush tool. Right. One thing you have to notice that if you zoom out and start painting, it feels like it's lagging. It's not. It's just like a performance thing. Don't worry about it. You will actually see the true paint in real time as when you zoom in. So don't panic if this happens. This is completely normal. You'll see the true value of the brush and the airbrush is when you actually use a tablet, right? The airbrush is like it's incremental, you know, it's like an actual airbrush basically, and the brush is, you know, just like it's building up over time. You have the eraser, all right, very standard stuff, and then you have the fill tool. You can see that when I press the fill tool, like it's what's going on? It's filling right now UV islands, but if you go and put it triangles over here, you can start picking triangles. Okay, and if I press fill mesh and click on it, it's gonna fill all of it. That's not gonna make a lot of sense unless you bring in sub meshes. So if you build like in Blender or in any modeling application, like several meshes, and you join them together, this is going to work. But right now there's one mesh, and you know, it's going to fill one of it. Let me just get another file so I can explain. Right. So this one has actually multiple texture sets. So good example to illustrate. If I have several textures, I can like disable them, enable them. But in this situation, I want to focus on this one because it has more than one mesh. So if I go to the fill tool, and if I click on submesh, on fill mesh, if I go to click, let's say red, I can like, you know, click on several, and it will like, you know, fill them. Cool. The idea is that if I also put a mask, right now this object has a mask, and if I want to mask this object, if I put a black mask, if I go on the mask and I can mesh fill, same thing. I can also like click on UV islands. I can't see my UVs right now, but if I want to see them, I can go to Windows, I can go to UV view, all right? And if I, let's say I want to dock it somewhere here, right? I can click on this. You can see that the entire UV has been basically like brought. Right now, like my clicking here isn't perfect right now, but you know, it's something because right now it's thinking that I want to not fill, I want to use the brush tool. So this is a work in progress. For now, you can just like use the fill from here. And if I want to actually see where it is, I can like unhide the others. And you know, again, not perfect. So the only way to do it is just like go mesh fill. Okay. So yeah, that's the last tool. So the only tools right now available are brush, airbrush, eraser, and fill. Cool. What else can we do? We have the shelf, fill layer, sorry, alphas. So if you click on alphas, go to here, and if I'm going to add a new channel, right? Okay. So you can see that I can, do this with my alphas. If it's it's gonna feel like one consistent line, and there's no jitter. So in your brush settings, you can do something. You can first of all add some size scatter, flow scatter, rotation, position scatter. You can, like, let's say, I'm just gonna overdo it for a second to show you. Yeah, there you go. So you can see that now it's scattering and jittering on all sides basically. So you can remove flow if you don't want flow. You can, like, remove position if you don't want position. But yeah, you're gonna have full control over this. You can, like, increase spacing. You can decrease spacing. You can increase hardness, which is basically the shortcut that I was using. Control right click and drag. For rotation, you can see that your rotation is here. But if you're control left clicking and dragging, you're doing it basically with a modifier. So yeah, there's this basically. And what else? Yeah, to get basically the other windows, basically you just, like, go here, UV, the thing that I was doing basically, and drag and drop them. If you don't want them, you can just middle mouse and they'll go away. And that's pretty much it. Unless I missed anything. No, this should be it. One more thing actually is, in case when you bake, basically you can see that these norm maps appear. Let's just do it fast. Yeah, you can see that I have these baked channels, and I can use them, and that's nice. But then you say, what if actually I want to use external channels? And that's where this shines. Is you can just import. I'm not gonna do it now because I don't have anything at the ready. But what happens is you can drag and drop images from outside, and you can, like, drag and draw them here. So one thing actually is that if I have, let's say, an AO map and I have ambient occlusion baked, I can just remove it. It will automatically get removed from this thing. If I want it back, I can relink, it'll be back. Cool. However, again, if you want images in your custom maps, you can just, like, drag and drop them here, just like, drag them onto your baked channels. But generally, yeah, this is the idea. One more thing, actually. We did all of this thing. We just, like, painted. We did all the thing. But how do we export? Cool. So the idea is you go to File, you go to Export Textures, and you have this window basically. Right now, the only thing I painted on is stones. So I'm just gonna remove everything, and I'm gonna click. It's telling us that stones is gonna export as the Unreal thing, the Unreal preset. So I'm just gonna go to per channel, and it's gonna tell us that it's going to export the document channel as is. Later, you're gonna create presets. Right now, the preset thing is very bare bones. It's not really working as intended, but that's fine. So it doesn't matter. So if you want to export the channel documents as is, and if you want, let's say, override the resolution, you go here. Maybe you want to export at 4K, and you want to export based on a specific. You want to override the preset. It's gonna put PNG, put 8-bit, put, let's say, no padding. I would not advise that. Keep it at infinite dilation, and then I'd export, and your maps are gonna be exported. So yeah, that's pretty much the entire workflow. Just paint, export, 3D painting stuff. I hope all of that helped, and have fun with the application.